Yes, and further in answer to your question, for example, the first wave of the stimulus money is in the area of weatherization that we've addressed. Now, the state has indicated that money is going to be dispersed primarily through what they call community action programs, which are local county kind of type of programs. In some areas, workforce centers, where they don't have a cap. As well, the weatherization money, as we understand in the latest, as far as the legislation's gone now, it hasn't passed or been signed. But there was a committee hearing in Mahoney's committee in the House that said weatherization money would go to the Department of Employment and Economic Development. This is one area, as you mentioned, that has a lot of mid-level bureaucrats. We have been meeting with the commissioner. As you know, the OIC State Council is housed in the Department of Employment and Economic Development. So we have a very long-lasting relationship since 1984, when we first received state monies. So we're right on top of that to ensure that we're not left out and that bureaucrats are not put in a position to deny us. And so that's one of my main objectives as working within that bureaucracy, is to ensure that the distribution of those funds goes to people who can deliver the jobs to all people.
And in closing on that same point, while Bill is very effective in ensuring that we have the agency relationship, Patrick and another colleague are involved in shaping legislation that would move some of those decisions up into actual law, so that we can't be in every place to ensure inclusion. As someone pointed out to me, as the weatherization bill is currently written, people in Duluth would not get access to some of the training dollars and outreach. And we want to ensure that we recognize that there are low-income people across the state in greater Minnesota, and we want legislation that isn't predicated upon our relationships at the agency level. So we're working with the agencies at multi-level government, and also trying to ensure that legislation levels the playing field for everyone.
Make a point on the policy with the weatherization bill. We would like to publicly thank Senator Ellen Anderson from St. Paul, who is the bill author. The bill is yet to move along, but we are very, very hopeful in her leadership and able to get the language that Higher Minnesota is demanding be included. On the House side, we are continuing to work with Representative Jeremy Kalin from the North Branch area, and to this point have been unsuccessful in getting the language that we've asked for into that bill. But we're going to continue working with him and with our champions in the House, Representative Bobby Joe Champion, Representative Jeff Hayden, and Representative Karen Clark, and Carlos Maniani.
Is there specific language in the weatherization bill to engage ethnic media in the outreach? You mentioned that three of the principal strategies are outreach, training, and accountability. And my feeling, my hope, is that we will recognize that one of the tools for accountability is public disclosure. And I want to commend Mr. King for, in the spirit of disclosure, the relationship that he has with my company. We do a lot of news at Insight News about Summit Academy OIC, and a lot of news about the Higher Minnesota Initiative. But it's simply because of two things. One is, first of all, we believe in the institutions, the values, and the proposition. But secondly, and equally important, Mr. King has made the effort to intentionally engage me personally and my company, both as a leader but also as a business. So, that said, how do we intentionally engage, involve, and support and grow the capacity of ethnic media to communicate our values and our interests broadly, so that the public mind has been created in a way that supports our public policy and strategy initiatives?
First, to Mr. McFarland and all of the community newspapers that have been covering Higher Minnesota, it has been amazing. It has been an incredibly powerful tool in getting the mission of Higher Minnesota out, and so I thank those who have covered our efforts over these last couple of months. In the outreach, there is language in here about, in the amendment that we want to offer that is yet to be accepted in the House about the outreach, and that includes the media. And our idea of that is community newspapers, because that's who is reaching the Minnesotans that we want to know about this. And so we're working on the media and public service announcement, radio advertisements as part of the language that we offered up in this bill. We're not satisfied with it being somewhere on a website buried, that you won't have to have.
Does it say newspaper advertisements?
It says via the mass media, including public service announcements and radio advertisements, but I will make this commitment right now that we will add.
Actually, we would like to work with you to develop dollar values or percentage values that make sense, that are market, that reflect market sensibility. What percentage of the information initiative ought to be paid media, and then what is earned media. That's what public service announcements are. But if you organize and bundle those, you get the biggest bang for the buck, and I think we should be at the table with you.
We'd love to work with you.
One moment. There are two things I want to say here to speak to the effectiveness of using the minority media or community media outlets. The first is that it's readily accessible to members of the community, and they use it. And I'll just say that we've seen a five-fold growth in our tuition-based revenue once we made a serious commitment to marketing using the local community media. It works. Has worked for us. So many people say that they see the ads and our bottom line shows it. And so it's a simple business decision for us. Secondly, I think that there is a perception within state agencies that the state agencies are work programs, and that the state agencies themselves are engaged, and MnDOT in particular is engaged in the business of outreach, marketing, and running training programs in which they have no expertise. And their track record demonstrates that over the years they don't have anything to show in terms of real outcomes for the millions of dollars that have been spent to pay for staff in those agencies to perform this function that our community papers do very effectively. So I think that your idea of helping them be more effective in reaching the community is a great one, and certainly we would love to sit down with you and incorporate that as part of our strategies as we engage with them to get more effectiveness, so that people can take the opportunity, because if they don't have effective outreach, then people won't show up, and then they'll say, well, nobody showed up. Okay? Yes, sir.
Michael McHugh. I've been with the Minneapolis Workforce Council and also work for a major retailer here in Minnesota. I have a couple of questions. First thing is actually a comment. I know that the city of Minneapolis Workforce Council, you've been doing a great job as far as outreach. In working with Minneapolis Workforce Council, I see that hire is actually having some voice within the city of Minneapolis, kind of reverberating there. Second thing is question. I know that MnDOT has two goals. One is the workforce hour goals, and one is direct contract goals. I know that you're working directly with the workforce hour goals. Is there something in place that will help minority or women-owned businesses get direct contracts so they can build capacity to do these contracts?